Well, we're live. Hi, and welcome to Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and today I am here with go-go dancer and Instagram model Dusse. How you doing today, sexy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
Work. I'm loving this.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
where are you originally from?
I'm always I've always lived in Oregon, but like just like a super small town, not even worth mentioning. But if you've ever heard of like Pendleton whiskey or Pendleton woolen mills, I spent like most of my high school years in Pendleton, Oregon.
Yeah, I know that. Like, I am from small suburb Florida. I've lived in Florida my whole life. I'm hoping to get
Yeah.
out of here. I'm hoping to get out of here in the summer because I fucking hate it here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
I'm planning on moving to Detroit.
Oh yeah, I remember in the interviews that I
Yeah,
watched, you said that.
yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah, for
It's
music, right?
mm, for music. Yeah, it's music, and it's like apparently from what I've heard, like from people I've been able to interview, it's apparently got a huge like queer scene that like people don't ever think about. So I'm like, that seems perfect. I'm like, rent is so cheap in Detroit. Like,
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
well,
I've only been in Portland for just a little over a year now. So this is like the first like city that I've kind of lived in.
I mean, so how do you like it?
I mean, it's okay. Coming from a small town, like there's so much more to do here,
Right.
but yeah, there's quite a bit of, crackhead activity, I guess. But but it's like I don't know. I've had an okay year, so it's not bad
But
for me.
that's every city. Like,
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I can't complain, I guess.
well, I mean, the way I classify Florida is like you have Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, and then the rest of Florida is kind of just like, in my ways of viewing, is kind of just like a meth lab. Like literally that
Oh God, that's crazy.
because there's nothing
Yeah.
to do. Like actually, even in Orlando, there's not anything to do. Like
Really?
no,
I've I've heard like such good and bad things about like Florida, but like I've always wanted to go because like I just love warm weather and like the beach.
yeah.
So I've like even considered going to like somewhere like Miami or something for like my birthday, but then I realized I couldn't afford it.
Yeah, because it's well, that's the thing. Miami is expensive.
Yeah.
I would recommend Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale, if you go onto like hotels.com and you look for like the cheap hotels,
Yeah.
you can get one that's like decently priced because that's always what I do when I go down there because it's like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have people who I know from down there who always like, what was it? I had like a go promoter on here before. He's like, so I do this event on Sundays, Sunday nights. I'm literally I'm like, girl, I work a real job. Like I work Monday through Friday. Like I can't. I would love to go down on Sunday night, but I cannot come back up to this
Yeah.
area on Monday morning. It's an hour and a half drive. Like no way.
Yeah. Yeah. What job are you like doing?
I work at a call center.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I especially like during the winter time, I can't survive on dancing alone, so I just like I've been working at a dispensary during the day.
See, that's
So
gotta be kind of nice though. Like
yeah, it's cute. I like it.
as I said,
Yeah.
this is not a forever. Well, clearly it's not a forever job because I'm planning on leaving in the
Yeah.
summer. So it's like, but it's not bad. Like my goal would be to live in Detroit and work from home,
Yeah.
or for to get a sponsor by then for this podcast. Hopefully, Grinders, Stiffies,
Oh,
Sniffies.
period.
I'd love to take a sponsorship. So I'm got to do a real job.
Yeah,
But
no. Uh, I'm really hoping one day, like, I'm like, I just want to not have to like go to work every day, like just like work from home, like be able to, I guess, like support myself and not have to leave the house.
yeah, totally. So, what was it like for you growing up as a kid in a small town? I know it's probably not great.
It was very interesting. I lived with my mother and her husband, my stepfather, and then my younger brother, and they were all white, and I was the only black person in my household. So it was, especially in Oregon, like there's quite a bit of racism here. But yeah, it was just like it was kind of different. Like I feel like um like I didn't know like I didn't know a lot of black people except for a couple of my cousins, and like a lot of white people here are racist. So like it just like was not really a vibe for like a young black child, I guess. But
Yeah, see, that sucks. Like,
yeah, but
I hate racist white people. Like, we're gonna get
yeah.
it. We're gonna get into that later. I have a story
Yeah.
with that, but it's like some people say like I've gone the other extreme. Like instead of like hating black people, I love black people so much.
Oh my
No, I'm kidding. I'm
God.
kidding.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was a fun childhood, like for the most part, like, you know, Oregon is it kind of is like a lot of hippies, and so like I don't know. It was okay. Like it wasn't too bad, I guess. But
We'll see. As a kid, I will say this: like, I was good probably till about high school when I realized I'm like, fuck, I do not want to be in Florida anymore. Because
yeah,
my dream, like every typical like gay kid, was like, I want to move to New York City, and then you
yes.
realize New York City's not affordable. Like,
Right. Right. Reality. Yeah.
it's like,
That
yeah, it's such a
yeah.
shame.
Yeah, that's one place I've always wanted to go. Have you ever been to New York?
I've been to New York once. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
I went in high school. I want to
Okay.
go because I want to go back and like I didn't get to see any of the like gay stuff and like
Yes.
well I was let's see what I no I was gonna say I was out. I don't no I wasn't out yet. Like that's like it's like a few months before Eric came out that I went to New York. So it's like
Oh wow.
but yeah
Yeah.
I'd love to go back. This is my thing and another thing about moving to Detroit. I feel like it's gonna be cheaper to travel
Oh yeah.
when you're in that part because like to get out of well not only cheaper but it's gonna be quicker because like to get out of Florida it takes so long
Oh yeah.
because it's literally like the southernmost part of the like
That's true. Yeah,
of
you
the
guys are
continental
so
United
deep.
States. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've that's like my one goal, like destination wise, like just like the nightlife, and like I've been like super like kind of like interested in like the ballroom scene recently, and
Work.
like yeah, like I just want to see these bitches Vogue and like kitty cat and shit. Like it seems like so beautiful to me, like just that kind of like dance and art and stuff.
Well, it's
And
all
like yeah, it's super like just lively in New York, like from what I've noticed.
And also the East Coast overall, I'm gonna say excluding Florida. Florida is like the outlier in this. The East Coast overall is much more welcoming towards people and like
Yeah.
is nicer versus I'm not gonna say the whole West Coast. I'm gonna say LA. I thought I was gonna move to LA at one point. I'm like, bitch, you are gonna get yourself kicked out of every party in 3 days because you're gonna be the one
Bitch.
telling the people like, unlike some people are gonna be like, oh my god, babe, you were amazing. That was such a good song. I'm gonna be like, who the fuck told you could sing? Like,
Oh
you are
my God.
horrible.
Oh gosh. Yeah. LA, Hollywood. Oh
No,
God.
it's and even when I thought I was gonna move out to LA, it's never I wanted to move to LA. I thought I had to move to LA. Like,
Right, yeah.
so that's whereas like New York, I said shit, if I had the money, I would absolutely
Yeah.
move to New York. But everyone's like, I see my thing is I already know everyone's like Hell's Kitchen is like a cute little area. It's like, no. Set your standards lower, bitch. Say you're gonna live in the Bronx. You can afford to live in the Bronx. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't even know. Like I wanna go to Queens.
yeah. Like
Somewhere.
that's simple. Like,
Hmm.
that's why people like even Detroit, they're like, it's a poor area. Look, I lived in Orlando for 4 years. I lived in the hood. Like,
Oh shit.
and like that's why I got used to it.
Yeah.
It helped when I started having sex, but
Oh my God. Wow.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like this is my thing. Like, I don't mind like the hood. The only thing my thing is I learned from living on a first floor apartment, you can't live on the first floor. If you're on the second floor, you're fine. Like,
Right. Hmm. Yeah,
second
you're
floor and
safe.
above, absolutely. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just other than that, it's like I'm like, what's the big deal? It's just a neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's I didn't live in the violent part of the hood. I lived in the part where like the guys I was hooking up would be like, oh yeah, my pot dealer lives over there. Like,
Oh my God. Have you, so you said you want to move to Detroit, is what you said.
yeah, yes,
And you've been there?
no.
No. Oh my God. Do you think that you're going to visit before you move?
Well, this is what I feel I'm gonna have to do because coming from Florida,
Mm-hmm.
I might have to go up like we'll see how it works out. I might have to go up like once to go like look at an apartment, but like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in terms of like actually like needing to go multiple times, I mean, this is how when I was talking with my best friend, he's like, and I talked to him about Detroit, he's like, you can live somewhere else. I'm like, where? Do you understand what the economy's like? Like, where else can I
Where?
afford to?
Where?
Because this is the thing. I have never done roommates.
Oh God. Don't do it.
The only person I want to live with is somebody I'm dating. Like that's just
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh God, yeah. I know that. I moved to Portland with my sister, and I love her
yeah.
to death. But we were roommates for years, and I'm like, I could never have a roommate again, ever. No, unless we fucking like,
That's
no.
exactly why. It's like either we have to become friends with benefits or like we have to date, and it's like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that
Roommates is out of the question at this point. Like, I'm too grown. I'm too grown.
really yeah. Let's see what you're 23. Yeah, I was 23 living on my own. I know that. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
or
Yeah. did I swear, did you move out at like a young age or something? I don't know if I'm mistaken.
I moved out at 20.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
And that's when I ran to Orlando because who is it? My aunt even said she's like, I never thought you were gonna move. I'm like, but I had to.
Uh,
Like,
yeah.
I wasn't gonna fucking find myself here, like in this area. Look at everybody's life. Nobody has a life that I want to live. Everyone like does their boring, like basic ass job. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's why the absurdity hit in. I'm like, for example, I'm interviewing people like, as you know, like I'm interviewing Peter. Peter's been on TV. Like
Yeah.
I'm interviewing people who've been on TV, who've been in porn. Like this. I had the thing where I'm like, this is absurd. I'm interviewing all these people that like are well known by people, and I'm living at home. Doesn't make any
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your biggest goal besides like music and like moving?
It would be well. What I like is, at least from what I've heard, because I interviewed a drag queen from Detroit on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be to perform again because it's like
Yes.
I don't perform because like in my area there are two drag houses. I'm part
Mm-hmm.
of neither of them because it's like
Um,
because the greatest thing is I have my drag sister who's kind of like she was part of one of the drag houses at one point, so she gets to like get invited to events, and I'm like, I'm the bitch who gets to sit there and be like, "Fuck y'all, I'm more talented than all."
fuck y'all. Oh my God.
I don't
Yeah.
say that. I think that in my head though, because it's like,
Yeah. Internal thoughts.
because this is the thing, like they're all known around like this area in like Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
You now know who I am. You live in Portland. I've interviewed
Yes.
people in Detroit. I've interviewed people in Spain. I've interviewed. So it's like I'm now theoretically somewhat. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna over. I'm not gonna overshadow my fame by any means, but I'm somewhat known around
Yeah.
the country. It's like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like, as I say, Detroit is welcoming from what I heard in the way that Florida is not, because it's like
Okay. Yeah.
if it's like do this or do that. First of all, I sing live, so it's like I sing live. I'm an actual musician, so like
Mm-hmm.
what I remember having this conversation with my drag sister. She's like, okay, because I wear like t-shirt dresses and bodysuits and drag, and she's like, okay, if you want to perform around here, you're gonna have to lip sync and you're gonna have to wear a dress. And I'm like, why the
Mm.
fuck would I do that? Like, that's not what I
Yeah.
do. That's what y'all do.
Right. Yeah.
And plus, every drag queen lip syncs. I think it's cooler to like sit there, get in them. It's literally like just different. It's a different like vibe when I come out there and like actually sing and like give the audience something different.
Yeah. I really do love that. That's actually inspiring because like I think it's important to have like uniqueness in like your art. Like I love like people who are like bringing originality. Like that's everything. That's
Yes.
cute.
Thank you.
Hmm.
So, what was it like for you coming out?
Oh, that's so funny. I actually for living in a small town, like I was never like out, and I didn't tell my own sister that I was gay until like my 21st birthday, and like I had had girlfriends before, and it was like when I turned like 21 or something when I told my sister, and then like when I moved to Portland, it was just like I didn't really like I never I don't know. Like I guess I kind of like tried to like mask myself when I lived in a small town, and then when I came to Portland, like I kind of like really was like didn't care anymore. So I feel like there was not really like ever any coming out. Like the first time I had a boyfriend was literally in 2023, And when I told my mom, like she just like didn't really seem surprised. So it wasn't like a lot for me, I guess.
Well, I mean, first of all, I get that. It's literally just like I think like it's a generational thing because it's like
Uh-huh.
I was, as I say, I'm just at like the cusp of where people had to keep on coming out
Yeah.
because it's like yeah, you're 23 and I'm like 29, so it's like I'm like right on that
Yeah.
and like that thing of I didn't have it. Well, I had it easy with family, but
Hmm.
I had it tragic in another way. So it's like I say in some ways I was fortunate because I only had to come out to one parent because I came out 4 months after my mom died.
Oh yeah,
So
I remember that
yeah,
from your
yeah,
interviews.
yeah. So it's just having to come out to my dad and then
Hmm.
my sister who just came out in November. So it's like
Oh yeah.
that was that, and then like as I always say, religion sucks. So I mean, I'm gonna run through this. You probably remember this in my other interviews. So
Hmm.
I came out to a youth minister,
Right,
which
yeah.
was like a mistake because I told him about a performance idea I had where I stabbed myself because,
Mm,
of course, I'm dramatic theatrical person and like
yeah.
he basically well you already know the story so I'm gonna just like cut it
Yes,
short.
yes.
So
What's your sign? What's your sign?
I'm Cancer.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I feel like Peter asked you the same question when you were telling the story, but I might be wrong. But I
No,
love Cancer.
yeah, no, JJ asked. Well,
JJ
yeah,
asked, yes.
well, JJ and I are both
Cancer.
cancers, so like,
Yes. Hmm.
but I don't know what his big three are. I am a Cancer, but I'm also double Pisces, so like, I very much that's that's where the fire comes in. That's where the like
Oh my God. That is so funny. I love that.
that's yeah
Oh God. I am a Pisces. And
yeah
yeah, and then I've got like my Aries moon and then Capricorn rising, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I love
Well, see, I
Pisces.
well see I get along very well. I get along with Pisces because like
Yes, that's me
clearly
and Jade. Yeah, me and JJ, like that was like my first best friend when I started dancing. Like that was like we call each other sister. Like that is my bestie. And we really just get along so well. It's crazy. Like the Pisces and Cancer duo.
yeah my special friend is a Pisces.
Oh, period.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. So yeah,
Oh
so
my
that's
God.
kind of as I said, I'm just running through this shit.
Hmm.
Got locked up in a mental institution, came out, conversion therapy.
Oh my God. Jesus.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I look back and like I regret nothing. Like
Oh yeah.
as I say, like as a musician, all the shit I went through, like that being suicidal, being sexually assaulted, being raped, like all of that is like shit that needed to happen for me to like write about
Hmm. Yeah. Right.
it.
Yeah. Like that is so true. Like art, I feel like things that are traumatic can really, I don't know, definitely like make us into like a stronger character, or like build our character really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like with the I say with that like this is my Pisces again, like cancers are calm. I think like the Pisces side of me is also the one who's like, and what?
And what?
Like
Right, love. Oh my, that's so funny. Oh.
Like literally, who was it? JJ saw on one of my like videos that I took from like a Twitch stream. He's like, you intentionally tried to show your ass. I'm like, it was an accident. And what? Like, you
And
saw my
what?
ass, and you saw my ass. Like, big fucking deal. Like,
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. That's so funny. God.
that's also the East Coast. That's why, like, I feel like Pisces combined with the East Coast is not a good thing.
Right, yeah. Oh my God, people from the South, like I know this one girl who's from Florida. She's so funny. She always like, and it's like on the internet right now, but she's always like, on my soul. And like that shit cracks me up. Like, I hear people from Miami say that all the time, like on the internet. They're like, on my soul. It cracks me up.
So, well, okay. I'm gonna ask it this way. So, how was the adjustment for you moving from like a small town to Portland? Like,
The adjustment was, I mean, it wasn't that difficult, but when I moved here, I brought $1,000 with me, and that was it. And my mom lived in Portland, and so I stayed with her, and then I got a job 2 weeks later. So it was just like mostly the only like big adjustment was the fact that in a smaller town, like I was paying cheaper rent, like cheaper everything, like cheaper food. And so like once you get to like a bigger city, like the prices just kind of go up. And I also lost my fucking car as soon as I moved here. So like it's just been like, and Portland's like a very like busable, walkable, bikeable city, and
yeah.
I love it here for that. Like it's pretty accommodating in that way. Like I don't really stress about going places that often, except for the hospital. But other than that, like that's like the biggest adjustment is just like my finances and um and the weather. Like this bitch is so cloudy and rainy all the motherfucking time. It's but yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
See, this was mm, my thing when I officially like. So when I lived in Orlando, I lived for like a year in the suburbs. That was a little bit more like planned, and then I lived like 3.5 years in the city. So it's like when I moved into the city, you at least had like a home. Like I was for 1 week I was squatting in my sister's like old apartment. She and all her roommates had moved out, so like she moved out, and then like I went like hotel hopping so I could find an apartment.
What the fuck? You when you moved to Florida?
No, when I moved to Orlando, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. That's crazy. Yeah. So where did you end up going like after like your sister's old apartment?
To hotels. Like,
Oh, hotels.
yeah, I would hop between
Damn.
hotels, and when I did that for 2 months until I got in my first apartment. I lived there
Uh,
for 3 years.
mm,
Then I moved to another apartment. I lived there for 2 months and got kicked out for a bullshit reason. Like
oh, damn.
they literally like went in and did an inspection one time, and they said when they came out, they like posted a note on my door saying they said there was debris in my apartment. Like
Oh my
because
God.
they said I had because I had clothes on my floor, I think.
Mm,
And I'm like, it's my apartment. Like, why do y'all care? Like,
what the fuck?
and they gave me a
Wow.
note. And they gave me a note that says you have 7 days to get out.
7 days. What are the laws there? I,
That's what they
that's
said.
Florida is built different.
So then the craziest part was I had to by myself. Whatever I could take, I had to move out by myself. I had to drive 2.5 hours to my dad's house, have him help me unload stuff between my bedroom, my sister's old bedroom, and his shed. Leave the U-Haul with him. He took it back from me, and then I had to drive back 2.5 hours because I had to work 2 weeks to get my PTO time cashed out. So I went back to hotel hopping when I was
Lord have
living
mercy.
there. Yeah.
That's rough.
Mm-hmm.
For
And
your
one night,
first apartment?
I had to spend in my car because I ran out of money.
Oh my fuck.
Yeah.
That shit is hard. Yeah.
So it's not like here's my thing. It's like, yes, I'm grateful I learned from that experience. I learned that I can do it. Do I want to do it again? No.
Right,
Like,
yeah. Right. Oh my gosh.
okay, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you still. Go out and come back in. No. No, go out and come back in. I can't hear you. Yeah, there we go. Technical difficulties. Okay. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. This wouldn't be the first time it's happened.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I just got a phone call, and then all of a sudden, like, I could not hear anything.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about?
I was saying, okay. What was I saying? I was saying about moving. Oh, yeah. About hotel hopping. So it's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh goodness.
it's. I don't know what to say. It's like, it's something to where, like, somebody said, like, it's crazy that, like, because what I was doing was every paycheck I was getting paid, I was literally having to funnel whatever I could into a hotel room, and then, like, that would like cover maybe a week,
Yeah.
maybe like 2 weeks at most, like. But yeah, just to get the money that I needed to survive. I've been very fortunate because even with all of that, the longest I've been unemployed was 3 months. Or no,
Wow.
no, I don't even think it's been that long. It's been a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, when I first came to Portland, like I got a job at a dispensary and I worked there for like about 3 months and then they laid me off and like that's when I started dancing full time, like just working on tips. And I felt like I was unemployed for months, but like because I was only like I don't get paid hourly, like I only get paid on tips, so it felt like I was unemployed.
So wait, so
And
they don't pay you guys uh like set amount and then plus tips. You're literally just working for tips.
that is so crazy. I figured Peter's like the the preacher about this, but like we do not get paid an hourly wage and we have to pay a stage fee to be there. Like it's not very much. Like during the week it's like $5 and then during the weekend it's $10. But like we still have to pay a fee to be there and we don't like we only work on tip like work off of tips.
This damn, no wonder Peter wanted to get out of there because get out of like this
Yeah.
because that's crazy. Like
Yeah. But you know, some of the girls they make it work and they because I remember I only worked there for like well like I worked there that was my only job and that's how I paid my rent like in $1 bills like stacks and so like sometimes like you can make it work if like you're consistent enough and like you know what you're doing I guess but there would be some nights like I would go there like there was this I worked at a different club one time and the stage fee was $30. So I left paying out of pocket. Like I that night I made like $20. So I had to pay an extra $10 to be there. And like so just like the stage fees like and yeah, it is a little difficult sometimes, but yeah.
wow. So at least my theory of wanting to do things is probably the best way because I will say this when I like finally do get to do my own shows as a performer,
Hmm.
I am the person who says like fuck casting professional dancers. Like literally like I'd rather cast Go-Go Boys anyway because it's like I don't know, it's like untraditional, but it's like I kind of like that about myself. Like
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I know a lot of dancers who are like go-go dancers or like pole dancers that are like a lot of people would say that that's not professional, but I'm like those people are professional dancers to me, like
yeah.
truthfully.
Well, okay. Before I go into this next question, so what do you consider yourself? Like,
For like my sexuality,
no. What I'm talking about, like, do you consider yourself a go-go dancer? Do you?
oh my gosh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I think like some people put like a lot of like stigma behind the word stripper, but like I do not care if somebody calls me a stripper because like I don't know, like but I would say like I call myself a pole dancer because like I love to do like pole work. I think it's like a very beautiful art.
yeah.
But realistically it doesn't really hurt my feelings if someone calls me a stripper, a go-go dancer or like whatever, but I guess like there are some people who are like you're this if you're like if you do this, you're in this category. If you do this, you're in this category. And I'm like, in reality, like go-go dancers, people say like, oh, they don't. get fully naked. So that's what a go-go dancer is. They're just entertainment. And then like I don't know. So I'm just like I feel like I kind of do like I fit into a lot of the categories, I guess. So you can call me whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll just put it this way. So, what made you want to become a performer? I'll phrase the question that way.
Honestly, like it was kind of like I was working a job already and it
Yeah.
was like a 9 to 5 and I was not making ends meet. Like I needed to get my bread up. So like it was mostly out of like hunger and desperation. So like I was like, I'm gonna do this on the side. And then I lost my day job and I had to do it full time. So that was kind of what it was. I was like, this is the next best option, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as someone who's never really gotten to work as a performer that's been paid, I've always had to work like a real job. Like,
Yeah.
and my emphasis on that, I have to make it clear. I made it's A, not knowing the right people, and B, I made like in Orlando, I made one of the biggest mistakes
Mm.
of my life when I was
Well,
actually right about your age, actually.
what was that?
So what had happened was I got this big opportunity to open for somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to turn them down because I was in Atlanta trying to chase this like record distribution company that ended up being a scam.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like that theoretically threw off my trajectory the whole rest of the time that I lived in Orlando. Because
Mm.
it's like that was, as I said, that's the one shot that I get. So like, but it's also I was actually no, I was 22. But it's like still, I mean, as I said, that was a huge deal. But it's like
Yeah.
actually, it was kind of like at least the way I looked at it, it was kind of good that I was like out of Orlando at that time because it was like the night that I was supposed to perform
Oh.
at that event was the night that the pulse shooting happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait.
So it's like everyone was like worried about me. I'm like and I had people texting me, they're like, I'm fine. I'm in Atlanta. Like,
Oh my God. That's crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
But as I said, like it's all for the best. Like my thing was going back to Detroit, the way that I've already been like treated by people who like work in Detroit and like the people that I've had made connections with, it's already better than any connection I had in Florida because it's like
Mm.
or in Orlando because it's like I was always the person on the outside because it's like I never really knew what I wanted to do. It's always like I always wanted to do like my music in queer spaces, but I never had like that opportunity because like most of the time you're having to do covers because like that's what people know, and it's like when you're working in a night entirely of covers, it's like I either have to do that or I have to like go um work in how I started in drag. It's like go work in a straight bar at like an open
Oh
mic
my
night
God. Yeah.
and
Okay.
like sit there and have these like fucking bros like stare at you because it's like
Yeah.
you look different than everybody else and like you were different, and I didn't mind that. It's like I was the person who used to like sign myself up first because I'm like these motherfuckers are gonna fall asleep after I'm done anyway. So let me just be like that burst of energy that they first see.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the opener. Yes.
yeah, because I will say this: I love some acoustic music. Acoustic's fucking boring. Like it, it literally it is. Like they would occasionally get like an alternative act. They would get like they had some guy who like was a beatboxer who like he beatboxed in like different genres. So he did like hip hop, EDM. That was kind of cool. That was like
Oh yeah.
the one cool night. But it's like most of the time it's the same guys. It's like and everyone like had their like 1, 2 songs that they would constantly or like 3 songs that they would constantly do. I
Hmm.
to this day like it drives me crazy to do like the same set twice in a row. Like
Okay.
I'm constantly about rotating shit. That's probably why I can never go on tour because it'd be like,
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
but I mean, owners were cool with me overall, except for like
Yeah.
what one night. So one night I had gone into like one of my sets and I had screamed motherfucker into the microphone to end one of my sets. I went like motherfucker, and then like did a dance break, and then like I was done. The following week, the owner the owner was like in the back like working the bar, and then she like came out to my table and
Hmm.
said like, yeah, there's old people in the audience this week, don't do that.
Wow. She's no, ma'am.
And I'm like, in the back of my mind I'm thinking, I'm sorry, am I not at a fucking bar?
For real, yeah, motherfucker. Oh my god. Oh,
But
oh
I
my
had
goodness.
to. Yeah,
I,
that's my thing. It's like I have a mouth. It's why like I have an idea for like a singer songwriter show that I'd love to do, like, and I'd love to be a judge on it. But I'm like, I cannot go on any major network. You're gonna have to censor half the show if I am.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I feel that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I really appreciate you giving me the time to be like on your podcast today. Like, this has been great. Like,
yeah,
I do like because I feel like such a small little person when it comes to like my friends like JJ and Peter, where I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe you reached out to me to also like be featured. So I really
yeah,
appreciate it. Thank you.
yes. Of course, it's like, well, let's see. Is this the part where I be honest? Yeah, I'll be honest. Okay, so it's like the most awkward time was like I had somebody's manager like hit me up and say like, what are your requirements to like get somebody on your podcast? And I had to in my mind I'm like, what bullshit answer can I give them? Because it's somebody's manager. I can't tell them the truth, which is honestly what I feel, which is like I get hot people. Usually I want to fuck the guests. Like that's I can't tell a fucking manager this. Like
You said that's the requirement.
no, but that I mean honestly that is like
Oh my God.
that is like
That is too good. Well, I appreciate I'm so flattered.
yes. Because it's like because this is the thing. Like my thing is I'm entertaining faggots. Like clearly
Yeah,
I'm entertaining like gay people and like maybe 4 straight women. Like
right. Yeah.
I should get good looking people, and it's like
Mhm.
and it's also I do watch like some of your shit because I saw a lot of what Peter did because I watched some of his videos. Like this is the thing, like people think I don't actually look at some of the guest stuff. I do actually look at the guest
Yeah.
pictures and videos and all that because it's like I have to. Like
Yeah.
this is why I can never do TV because it'd be like that thing of so you're here promoting your new single. I loved it. I definitely jammed out to it. Meanwhile, knowing that I fucking hate the single and I
Yeah.
no, that's literally there's a guest. I'm not gonna say who it is. There's a guest who like I already approached. I already interviewed them once. I went to
Mhm.
go ask them to come back a second time. I actually did, and then
Yeah.
they came out with like this new single that literally just like I guess I took the rose-colored glasses off. I'm like, God, this person can't fucking sing. And let's let's just say I asked them once and I didn't ask them again. So like
Right, right. Oh my god.
actually no, I'll
No,
be
yeah.
shady. I'll be shady. So Onyx, if you're
I
listening,
love
I'm
it.
kidding.
Oh my god, not the name drop. That's crazy. Oh my
This
god.
is why I can't go out to LA.
My goodness. The tea. Oh
This,
my gosh.
this shit isn't gonna help when I get to the last question.
Oh my gosh. What is the last question?
Is what's the I don't want you to answer it now. We'll get to it. But the last question is, what's the biggest misconception about you? And
You
the one that people tell me is that I'm shady. Like I'm not, I'm not
right.
disproving that by the way I'm acting now. But it's like, listen, I call it like I see it. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like I have praised people who are amazing. I always praise people who are amazing. Like,
Mhm.
but if you suck, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be the one who's gonna be like, "Oh my god, yes, work. I love that fucking song." I'm gonna be like, you still cute to look at, but I ain't gonna like listen to your music anymore."
Yeah. You're cute. Yeah. I hear you. God. But so
So, go on.
I was gonna say, so should I answer now?
No, we'll wait till the end.
Okay, okay.
I'll theoretically get through these other questions. I need to shut the fuck up.
Oh
So,
no.
okay, where am I? Well, I mean, I already answered this. So, what was it like for you the first time you performed?
So Silverado, they host auditions on Monday nights, and I was so fucking nervous, and I didn't know what I was doing at all. Like, it was embarrassing. Like, but also on a Monday night at the strip club, I started in December of last year. So a Monday night, a lonely, cold December, and I was a little virgin stripper. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, it was pretty embarrassing, but like, and the host came up to me and she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "You need to try to work the whole room, even if nobody's here." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Let me do that." And so but like, yeah, so it was pretty nervy, but it was like, like, it felt like embarrassing, but after like doing it, like I was like, sometimes as a performer, that's what happens. Like nobody shows up to the performance, but you still need to like work and like do your thing because I don't know. Like there's been times where I'm performing for an empty room and then one person will come in and like throw some money at me and like just like kind of change the whole night. So
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. So it just like my first performance was very boring and like I think I probably made $2 or $3, but yeah, I guess like
Working an empty room, I've only done it once. and it
Mm-hmm.
was it was it was before I started performing in drag. So like the thing of when I moved to Orlando was I didn't start out performing as Prince Electro Diamond. That came
Mm-hmm.
about. I won't say it did. I performed as like my boy self for like 2 months, and then like all of a sudden somebody just gave me the courage to be like, I told them about this idea that I had about like wearing all the stuff and wearing like a feather boa and like the heels and everything, and somebody's like, well then why don't you just do it? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I did, and that was from then on I learned that I can no longer work places without like room. Because it's like I have performed in the middle of a bar, like literally just like singing and dancing in the middle of like the bar and in the audience. It's fun, but it's also crazy because it's like you'll be doing something and you're thinking, bitch, I know you standing right there, but if I am turning and like that's where I have to land, I will shove you out of my way
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stumble just because this place doesn't have. And eventually they did build a stage, but it was like a tiny little like it was like one of those like state is like one of those like pieces of like wood that they put like sod on.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the size of the stage. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to fucking perform on this tiny ass stage. There's nowhere for me to move. So I kept on performing in the middle of the bar. I'm like, I'm like, until I get in trouble for this, I'm gonna keep on doing.
Oh my gosh. Well, it is 5 o'clock, my love. I need to start getting ready. I'm gonna go to
Okay,
Silverado tonight,
okay. Well,
and
in that
I have to
case,
piss.
okay, in that case, I will do. Let's see. Okay. Then I guess I'll ask you now. What's the biggest misconception about you?
The biggest
Just in case. So,
misconception, I swear, like a lot of people say that I am a bitch, and I have the word poison tattooed on my throat, and everybody's always like, you're like, thinks that that means something about me, but it is a song that I like. It's just a song. That's a very big misconception about me is I'm like, I am not poison. This is not a label. But everybody also calls like people call me a bitch, and like I really am so nice. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's because most people think that about
The Pisces.
go dancers because
Oh yeah,
well
that's true.
it's because you gotta give an attitude instead of explain to people
Yeah.
if you're like timid
Mm-hmm.
that leads motherfuckers to like if they will pay attention to you they'll be like
I like the way you
they'll
say
they'll
motherfuckers.
they'll try some shit. They'll like try and
Yeah.
grab your dick. They'll try and grab your or they'll try and
Yeah.
finger you like
You're
all
right.
this
Yeah.
all this shit. Okay, so I'll definitely like because I know you gotta go, so I'll definitely like find some time to have you back on. So I'll quickly answer this.
Yes. Yes. This was great. It was great
Yeah,
talking to you.
yeah. So it's like as I said before, shady. I've been told I'm shady. I do not think that I am. I
Yeah.
think that I'm very blunt and opinionated, and if
Mm-hmm.
being blunt and opinionated makes me shady or a bitch, then I'm a
Yeah.
fucking bitch.
Yeah. I hear you.
And then the other one is this was something that Peter actually told me. This is before he met me. He said, like, you're so intimidating. I'm like,
Wow.
well, my thing is, he said this before he met me. I'm thinking, girl, you don't know the half of it. Cause like I am this to me is like I'm very like even center with people. I'm fucking six foot
Yeah.
three. Like I am definitely like not short at all. And like I mean
Yeah.
granted, I'm nice for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes you try me, I'm No, we're gonna get into this.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I said, I know you gotta go. You gotta get ready. I gotta
Oh
find.
no. Yeah, I was like, sometimes if we get into it, I was like, let's go. But I was just kidding. But
Yeah. So with that being said, this is Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Elect. This is Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and I hope you've enjoyed.
good night.
Uh,
Thank you so